They say the world will always have something to say. They say no matter what path you choose, someone will stand on the sidelines and criticize it. And they say the wisest soul is the one who learns to walk their own road, even when others laugh. Once, in a peaceful village nestled between green hills, lived a wise man and his young son. One morning they set out for a nearby town to sell their grain. The sun had barely risen when they began their journey. The father rode upon his small donkey, and his son walked cheerfully beside him. As they entered the first village, a group of townsfolk began to whisper, "Look at that man," one scoffed. "How selfish. He rides while his poor son walks. What kind of father is that?" The wise man heard their words and felt a pang of shame. He loved his son and didn't want to seem unkind. So, at the next stop, he got down and said, "My son, it's your turn to ride. Let them see I care for you." The boy climbed onto the donkey, grateful and happy, while his father walked beside him, but their peace didn't last long. Soon they passed another group. One woman gasped, "What a disgrace. That young boy rides while his old father walks. Has he no respect?" The people around her nodded in agreement. The wise man felt embarrassed again. To please everyone, he said, "My son, let us both ride. Surely no one will complain if we share the burden." So, the father and son climbed onto the donkey's back together. But as they reached a busy marketplace, another crowd gathered. "Look at those cruel people," one man shouted. "That poor animal, they'll break its back." The wise man sighed. "It seems no matter what I do, people find fault." Still, he tried one last idea. "Perhaps if we both walk and let the donkey rest, they will finally approve." So they got off and began leading the donkey by its reins. By the time they reached the edge of town, they were tired and sweaty, and yet they heard laughter again. "Look at those fools," someone yelled. "They have a donkey, but they're walking." The wise man stopped. He looked at the laughing crowd, then at his confused son, and smiled gently. "My son," he said softly, "it seems we cannot please them. They laughed when I rode. They laughed when you rode. They laughed when we both rode. And now they laugh when we walk." The boy frowned. "Then what should we do, father?" The old man thought for a moment. "We shall stop trying to please them," he replied, "because those who look for faults will always find them." They continued their journey, no longer caring about the whispers or laughter. They rode, walked, and rested as they pleased, finally finding peace. That night, by the fire, the father said, "My child, today we learned something important. You cannot please everyone. If you try to live by the world's approval, you will lose your peace and your purpose." He looked at the boy and added, "When you follow your heart, people may still criticize you, but at least the life you live will be your own." The boy smiled. "So, what should we do when people talk about us?" The wise man chuckled. "Let them talk. Their words are only echoes. The wind will carry them away." The moral is simple. No matter what you do, someone will always judge. If you're quiet, they'll say you're weak. If you speak up, they'll say you're arrogant. The truth is, the crowd always talks, but only you live your life. Don't waste your time chasing everyone's approval. Live with kindness and honesty, but live for yourself. The moment you stop chasing approval, you will finally find peace. And peace is worth more than all the compliments in the world. So, walk your own path, ride your own donkey, let the world laugh if it must. Because in the end, those who laugh will forget by tomorrow, but your peace will stay with you forever. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to breathe deeply. Subscribe for more timeless lessons that awaken your wisdom and remind you that the only voice that truly matters is your own. Thank you for watching.